Hey YouTube, it's your girl Mayan. I'm back with another Chat GPT video. All the videos I think I've done so far about Chat GPT are on the good side of Chat GPT. How to maximize your productivity, 10 hacks, how to edit a paragraph, the difference between free and paid. Just like everything else in life, there's always a good and a bad, an up and a down, a left and a right. So I've been talking about the good sides of ChatGPT. Today I want to talk about some of the concerns with ChatGPT. And I hope you know that there are some concerns. So the first one we're going to talk about is misinformation and hallucination. And not just with ChatGPT, but with any generative artificial intelligence, there's a potential for misinformation and hallucination, where it will create information and fabricate data as if it was correct. So one of the things that I've stated in some of my videos is that you always inspect what you expect. And sometimes, I don't think I've done it quite enough in some of my videos, is I will ask it for the reference where it got that information from. Of course, on their website, they state that the information may not be correct. So it's always, for me, a good idea to take the information almost like a grain of salt. It's always good, if you're not sure, to seek professional advice or someone who is an expert in that particular field, whatever your question or concern is about. So don't just take it like it's the final word, it's 100% right, because it has been known to fabricate information. So one example of fabrication, which I was not able to recreate, because I think that particular example was taken care of, is that it created responses that, for this question, to prove unicorns once roamed North America, a fabricated study saying that there's been several studies by the University of Pennsylvania and Stanford, 2017, have conclusively showed fossil remains of unicorns in the Rocky Mountains. And no such studies have existed. Okay? No such studies have existed. So be aware of misinformation and hallucination, where it's just wrong facts that are presented with a lot of confidence as if they are correct, but they are not correct. I'm going to click on this page that I linked for you guys. It's from MIT Data Intelligence, and it talks about limitations and ethical considerations for ChatGPT, and it goes and talks about some of the hallucinations that it has generated and whatever have you. So just be aware of it. Scientific community, technology community is aware of it. So as a consumer, as a user, be mindful of that as well. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is bias in responses. So we all know that biases exist. Usually individuals have their own biases towards their own kind. So the makers or engineers and stuff like that, when they're creating it, there's built-in biases that you may notice in some of your questions or in some of your responses or some of your prompts. So for example, I'm going to type and ask it for a picture of a professional doctor. Please provide Oops, I'm typing numbers. Provide a picture of a professional doctor. And it's taking a moment, so just bear with it, you guys. Oh, my picture's coming. Is it coming? Wow, it's taking a minute. So while it's taking that minute to load that picture, hopefully it's going to be a real picture, not a scary picture. So just keep in mind of potential biases. For example, if you ask it what's the best cuisine in the world, then it responds with a particular cuisine like French. Oop, look at that, it's coming. French or Italian. That's going to be, that's a question that's going to be very subjective. I'm waiting for my picture to load. So a picture of a professional doctor, what it's generating to me, it's a white male. So depending on where you are, a professional doctor may not look like a white male. Of course, we have several white male doctors, but we also have a lot of professional doctors of different gender, and as well as different ethnic and cultural background. But if I ask it for a professional doctor, this is what it first brings out. So that's part of the biases. One of the things that I talk about is to be very specific with your prompt. So maybe if I said, provide a picture of an urban, that might take a while, urban doctor, because it took a while to load that second picture. There could also be, well, that example also give you a gender bias as well as race bias. I'm not sure how old he looked like, but also we could, we can ascertain that maybe there's a little bit of age bias there as well. Certainly we have doctors of different ages as well. All right, it's still loading that picture. So far we've talked about AI misinformation and hallucination, and then biases in response. I'm going to go ahead and move on while it's loading that second picture for our biases, and I'm going to move on to privacy risk. Some of the information that you are putting on here, it may be used for training purposes. So depending on what you're putting in, somebody may be looking at it. So just be mindful of the information that you provide, although it is stated that there's some privacy, but with technology, there may be a way to link it back to you. So just be mindful of that. All right, so here I asked for a picture of an urban doctor. And again, what pops up, it's not a white male this time, but this time it is a black male. Like, are there any female doctors? So here we see a little bit of gender bias. So it has been cautioned. Let me see. I have this page. Let me show you guys potential for biasness. So also in the way that you ask the question. This is from University of Waterloo. The way you pose your question may have some biasness in it. That your response will create a bias, though the response that is given you with the way that the question is stated. So here they have 3 examples. The first one, explain why social assistive robots are ineffective treatment for older adults with dementia. So here it's already assuming that it is ineffective treatment. So it is going to look for supporting details of why it is an effective treatment. The second example they have here is, our social assistive robots in effective treatment for older adults with dementia. So here there's no assumption that it is effective. It is asking, is it effective? So then it goes to provides a little bit of a better response. And the last one, which is, they said some more balanced prompt, goes on to ask, what are the benefits and drawbacks of socially assistive robots as a treatment for older adults with dementia? So it's asking for the good and the bad, right? So we know there's a left, there's a right side, as above, so below. So there's always like two sides of a coin. So here you're getting a really balanced approach instead of asking it for just the positive or assuming that it's already good. Here we're getting the balance, so we're getting both sides of the coin, as I like to say. All right, so that was the potential for biasness, and I also have a website for you guys on privacy risk. This is from the McAfee website. How to protect your privacy in ChatGPT. So be careful with the platforms that you check. Like I say, if you don't have an account, you delete your history. But there's always that risk of somebody seeing the information that you put on there. All right, the fourth thing we're going to talk about is over-reliance on AI, artificial intelligence. So AI is so great. Like, I don't know what your ages are, but there was a point in time where we didn't have cell phones, you guys. We did not have cell phones. We had house phones, and for the most part, if you wanted to make a call, you had to, most of us had memorized the individual's or different individual's number. There was a period of time, there was a thing called a beeper, where you had this little square box and somebody will dial the number for you to call them, and that was a way for us to communicate, like somebody was trying to reach you. So this little box will beep with the phone number, and then you will go to a local phone and call that person. Now for myself, I find it so hard to remember numbers, and I was like, there was a point in time where I used to remember a lot of numbers, and my family is the same way. So we became over reliant on our cell phone because they were, they're making things so easy for us that, there's contacts and all you have to do is save the number and access it. So that part of your brain is not being exercised. Maybe it's it's freeing you up to do some other mental exercise. So just be careful with how you use AI, that you're not, it's not healthy. This website states to rely on it for every little thing. Like, it's good to use it as a tool to be helpful, but you want to maintain your voice. You want to maintain who you are and use it as a tool. So let's look at what this article on Forbes.com, how to avoid ChatGPT dependency. Are we over reliant on it? So it talks about how you can use it to help you with work. You can streamline communication, but don't become over dependent on it. All right, so I hope you guys are liking this video so far. So that's about it. So I think those are 3 things. 3 concerns, and there are some others, but I'm just going to cover those 3 today. I'll probably do a part 2 where I add a little bit more So the three things we talked about are number 1, misinformation and hallucination. Number 2, biases in responses, privacy concerns, and over-reliance in AI. Okay, don't want you to lose your critical thinking skills. So I hope that you have found this video helpful and useful. I certainly enjoy making it. If you have enjoyed this video, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you'll be notified of my next video. Till next time, stay blessed.